Hi there, welcome to this first lesson covering document basics and formatting in Microsoft Word. This lesson is called W5.1 Favorites, and in it we will see how a Word document can be saved using one file name, revised, and saved with a new file name. Specifically, we will focus on creating, naming, and saving a document, revising, renaming, and saving an existing document, changing font and font size, and closing a document. Word processing has become such a common tool that one might take its power for granted. Creating documents and making changes to existing documents is second nature to many people. Imagine having to recreate an entire document only to have a second version with slight changes. Luckily, computer applications such as Microsoft Word and Google Docs allow users to create new documents from existing ones without having to start from scratch. Before we begin this exercise, let's first complete our basic Word document preparation. First, you will need to open a new Word document. So go down to your dock, and by this time you should have the Word icon there that you can double-click on and open a new document. The first thing we want to do is save it with a name. And you can just simply hit Shift-Command-S, and that will bring up your naming dialog box. Now, sometimes you may have a shortened version of this, and if you're not seeing this particular setup, you may have another button down here in the lower left corner that says On My Mac. You will have to click on that. If it's not there, don't worry about it. Simply expand the Where drop-down arrow. And because this is a Word document, we are going to put it in our Documents folder, and you should have by now already a subfolder that says BIM Word. We had already done a lesson where we had pulled this out to favorites, as you can see. So when you're saying where you want to save this document, you can actually just click on BIM Word out here in the favorites if it's there, or you can click on Documents and find it in the subfolder. In either case, this where field needs to say BIM Word. Then we're going to come back up here to the Save As and name our document. And in this case, this lesson will be called W for Word 5 because it's Unit 5, and point 1 because it's the first lesson. Then I click in a space and I say Favorites because that's the name of the lesson. I put in a dash, and then you will type in your last name and first initial. Now, if I was the student, my last name would be Weaver with a T. So you put in your own last name and then your first initial. Once you've done that, you can come down here and hit Save, and we're ready to go. The next thing we need to do is insert a header at the top of our document. And to do that, we are going to come up to the very top edge, and you can see right here along the side that there is a darker area. This shows us where our header is. If we double click down here, nothing happens. But if we double click in this area at the top of the page, we suddenly enter the header area. And in this part, you're going to enter your first and last names. Okay, so once again, if I was the student, I would put in my name. And then you're going to put in your period number. So I'm going to write in BIM period. And if you're in period 1, you'd put 1. If you're in period 7, you would put 7. I'm just going to leave a number here because I'm in all periods. And then the next line is your date. Now, instead of just typing in the date, what you can do is hit Control-Shift-D for date, and it will put in the date for you. A little shortcut there. Once again, that's Control-Shift-D. The fourth and last line in our header should be our file name, and this is why it's important that we have named our file before we get to this point. When you're in header, there's a neat little trick. Rather than having to type in your file name, you can actually simply type file name and press enter. And you see this little shortcut note here, press enter to insert, and it will put it in there for you. One of my favorite little tricks. Let's hit return again, and then move down into this main area that's not in the header and double click. This is the part where we need to add in some document information. Before we move on, however, I want you to go ahead and hit Command S to save your document so far. When you are doing assignments in my class, all the Word documents need to have these 4 lines of headers. They are 1 point each. Your file name that you're naming your file has to be correct. That's 2 points off if you do not use that particular format. So next up, and if you are following along in the instructions, I'm down to number 5. You're going to type a title for your document that reads My Favorites. Then you're going to press enter. Then you're going to type the name of your favorite outdoor activity. All right. Well, mine is skiing. All right. Number 7 on your instructions says, type the name of your favorite superhero. For me, that's easy, Wonder Woman. And then number 8, type the name of your favorite social media website. As you can imagine, I go on Facebook quite a bit. Number 9, type the name of your favorite video game. And for me, it's an oldie but a goodie. EA Sports, Snow, it's actually snowboarding. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to press enter. I'm going to save my document once again by hitting Command S, and then I'm able to close the document by hitting Command W.